If you're a gym owner that wants to grow your business and you're looking for different ways to be able to market, to get more members into your facility, I'm gonna walk you through in this video how we are helping our clients be able to use what we call the 4-layer funnel to get more leads and ultimately more members. Now, real quick, it's really important to understand that leads don't equal members. I can get a lot of leads, and a lot of agencies out there do a great job of getting leads. But the problem is that leads don't equal sales because we still have to get those people to actually schedule an appointment, show up, and we also have to close them. It's a lot easier to close people at the bottom of this, like the bottom of this funnel right here, the 4-layer funnel, and it's a lot harder as you move up. However, as we get into this, and I'll walk you through each stage of this, if you're able to do each one of these really, really well and incorporate those, you're going to create a marketing system that allows you to be really broad and not have a lot of risk in just one area. And so this is what we help our clients do here at Gym Launch, and it allows them to be able to get a steady, consistent flow of leads when done correctly. All right, so let's walk through this. I'm gonna start at the bottom of the funnel because this is typically what most people do, what most gym owners do, and what they are most comfortable with, and they think about how they grow their gyms. And it really comes down to the first step at the bottom is referrals, right? And so with referrals, the reason why it's at the bottom is 2 reasons. One, it's a smaller funnel because with referrals, your TAM, otherwise known as your total addressable market, your pool that you can actually get leads from is a lot smaller because your referrals are basically capped at your member base or maybe friends and family. And so you only have a certain amount of people you can actually get leads from, new members from. And with referrals, it's still a very core aspect of any business. And in a perfect business, this would be massive, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, if I'm a gym owner and I've got 100 members, I'm capped at 100 people that could potentially refer. And if you're crushing it with referrals, crushing it, I mean, you're top of class. You're most likely only getting 10% of your member base every single month to give you a referral. So really important to understand that. It is easy to grow in the beginning stages with referrals only, but at some point it's going to cap out because their pool and their network only extends so far. And also relying on your members who are paying you money to grow your gym is a really poor strategy long term. You're gonna be capped, and not only capped on the number of actual new leads that you're gonna get, but you also have a ton of risk here because you're just relying on one layer of the funnel to get you new members. And so referrals are the first one. Now the next one is what we call warm outreach. Let me define warm outreach. Warm outreach are people that are either in your phone, old leads that have opted in, could be email addresses, phone numbers, followers on Instagram, followers on any platform, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, people that you have their contact information, right? Now, this is on a spectrum. You've got people that follow you that have never opted in, you still have their contact information, so they can be a lead, but they're not as warm as someone who has opted in before and maybe come in and visited your facility, or maybe they're an old member and they've left. That would be an old lead list or old member list. All of those, it kind of ranges from there. Also with warm outreach, another one is people that comment, like, and maybe view stories, right? If you have stories on Facebook and Instagram, people that view those, you can kind of see who actually saw that, and that becomes a contact that you can actually go after and DM. And warm outreach is a great way to be able to do this because what it does is it extends the pool that you can grab from, and with the right strategy and the right process in place, you can actually start getting qualified appointments into your facility from people that like, comment, that view your stories, old leads, old members. You can hit all of these people up. You can reactivate old members. You can engage with people that are just liking and commenting on your organic content, on your paid ads, you name it. And so warm outreach is a phenomenal way to begin to expand your network. If you don't have a lot of money, like very little money, and you are just starting from ground zero and you want to get people in, number one, warm outreach is a phenomenal way to get started. And you can do this via DMs on Instagram, Facebook. You can just pick up the phone and call people in your phone. You can shoot text messages. If you have emails, you can also do emails, though emails is a little bit harder for a local brick and mortar gym. But this is the next step up inside of the funnel. And the reason as you see this funnel go, it expands is because as you go further up the funnel, the amount of leads you can get expands, all right? But I also built this specifically in a way where as the funnel shrinks down, this also reflects your CAC, your cost to acquire a client. And so it starts to shrink as you get further down because there's less cost associated with it. Now with warm outreach, there's time, and potentially if you hire someone to do it, there's that cost, but you can reduce your CAC as you decrease this. And referrals are a lot easier to close, all right? So we have this right here. Now, the next one is going to be posting content. So a lot of people talk about this in the sense of organic, right? But it's not just posting like reels and videos. It can also mean blog posts. It could be updating your Google My Business. It could be making posts across all types of different platforms, everything from LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. It can be long form copy. It can be images. It can be videos. It can be engaging videos. It can be long form, you name it. But posting content will increase your reach because you have the ability to get more views. And as your content gets better, it's also going to be shown to more and more people. Now, right now, as I'm filming this in 2025, it's in March. It's really important to understand that the platforms, really from day one, they want to keep anyone that's on that platform, someone who's scrolling, they want to keep them on the platform, which means that they want whatever's posted to be engaging and interesting. And so you want to, if you're posting images, which are okay, you want carousels. If you want to post stories, if you want to post reels, you want to post videos, you name it, it needs to be engaging and entertaining because they want people to engage with that content. They want it to watch it, to share it, to like it, and engage with it. So the more humor you have, the more shock value you have, the better the hook, the better the body of the actual thing that you're doing, the more likely someone is going to actually stay and watch your content. And so when people talk about value, a lot of times we think as business owners, we are in a world of like, well, if I consume content, I kind of want value in the sense of teaching, similar to what this video is. But for the everyday consumer, they want entertainment. And it's really important to understand the differences between that. Because if you want to go out and start doing a whole bunch of content on education around the squat or education around nutrition, the difference between macros, intermittent fasting, that's not a bad thing. You can do that. But I would really try to figure out a way to do that in a very entertaining manner. And one of the easiest ways to get better at this is just to search top trends on social networks and platforms and start mimicking those and start testing those. The more you can get people to like your stuff in the sense of it's humorous or there's shock value where you draw a line and you basically throw stones at an idea or a belief and you say this is wrong, you're gonna get a lot more engagement. And it's really important to understand that engagement doesn't always mean it has to be positive engagement in the sense of you're getting a bunch of comments that tell you that from people that say, this is amazing, I love you. You can also get a ton of negative stuff from that, but at the end of the day, it drives up views. And so it's really important to understand that. And again, this is the third step in this funnel. With this funnel, you're going to reach more people. And you also honestly have a chance to get as many leads from this as you do from the next step, which is paid ads. Paid ads is at the top, and paid ads, in my opinion, is still king across every step of this funnel because you're going to get the most amount of leads typically from this unless you absolutely are a superstar when it comes to posting content and you own your local area. Because posting content will only get you so far because you can't target it to local areas. It's just going out into a platform and you can get people from all over the world liking this, and that's great, but from a business perspective, it doesn't actually help you within a 7-10 mile radius of your gym. With paid ads, you can take content and a call to action and drive leads within a certain radius, and you can include exclusions, you can include zip codes, and you can drive people in your area to actually book an appointment and come in and take advantage of whatever offer you have. And earlier I mentioned that as we go through this, what happens is you're going to get more to less leads here, right? And I'm just gonna put leads right here. As you go up the funnel, you're gonna get more, you have the chance to get more leads. And as you go down the funnel, you're gonna get less leads and less opportunities here, simply because the pool just shrinks as you continue to move down. This is why it's really important as a gym owner and any business owner to have multiple layers in your funnel and how you are able to go out and get more leads. As you're doing this, if I'm only doing referrals, I'm capped. I can only get so many people. If I add another layer, great, I extend it, but I'm still capped compared to if I'm consistently posting content and doing paid ads. And as you do all of these, all of a sudden you start looking and you're like, man, I'm running paid ads. Let's say I'm spending $3,000 a month on paid ads and I'm getting a ton of leads from that. But then I'm also posting content and I'm getting way more engagement on my content. And weird, I'm also getting a whole lot more website visits and I'm getting a whole lot of people just opting into my website. I'm updating my Google My Business profile. All of a sudden, all that's pushing more. And then what happens is your warm outreach increases because as I go, my ads, right, will help my content. Posting my content will create more comments and more likes and more engagement, which then gives me more opportunities, which also paid ads drive more leads. So I can hit up old lead lists and work those people, which then as I sell more people, it increases my pool of referrals and vice versa. So it just continues to feed itself. And if you have the right strategy and you set this up the right way and you do this consistently, you can just have a steady flow of leads from each one of these. But the key here is that they all work together. Just like anything else, right? There's a lot of ways to get fit in a gym. There's a lot of different training methods. There's a lot of different training methodologies. There's a lot of different types of things. There's Zumba, there's Pilates, there's yoga, there's strength training, there's Olympic weightlifting, there's powerlifting, there's strongman, there's HIIT, there's you name it, right? There's CrossFit, all these different types, bodybuilding, all of these different types of training, and they all can work. And what they all use little things, right, that are very similar. Energy systems, right? All these different things to work together, they all work. It's just to what degree. If I want to get really strong, Zumba's probably like absolute strength. Zumba's probably not the best choice for me, right? I could do it and have fun and that'd be great. But if I really want to get absolute like strength built and I want to have a bigger pull off the floor with a deadlift, I want to get a heavier back squat, I most likely probably need to add in some powerlifting and some strength training. Most likely, it'd be reasonable to believe that if I did that, I'm probably going to get stronger, right? But if I'm there and maybe I'm a power lifter and you know what, I'm 300 pounds and it's time to lose weight, maybe another option would be I should probably get out and get some endurance training, some lifts in, right? Because they all work together to provide a healthier body. And you think about that body from a marketing perspective of your gym, and I look at that, each little thing adds to the overall body and makes it a better and more efficient and healthier business, right? And so with paid ads, you're always gonna get more as long as you have the right strategy. The key is the right strategy. You could run paid ads and get no leads. And there's a lot that goes into that. It comes down to the offer that you're using. The offer is the most important thing. If you don't have a good offer, I don't care what happens, you can have great copy, you can have okay creative, but if the offer isn't engaging, you're not gonna get leads. The creative does matter a ton. The copy matters, the headline, where are you sending them? How are you getting those leads? Is it a lead form? Is it to a messenger? Is it a messenger ad? So it goes straight into DMs? Are you taking them off the page and going to a website? Don't do that. All those things matter when you're trying to do this. And if you do it right, you can get a ton of leads that then again continue to flow into this. All right. Now on the other side of this, let's talk about cost and investment, because yes, leads are one thing, but remember when I said in the beginning that leads don't actually equal sales. And so leads don't actually matter if we can't take those leads, get them to show up and close them. And when we think about those stages in the funnel, all of that leads to how much does it cost to acquire a client, what we call CAC. And that is one of the most important metrics that any business should be looking at, because basically the idea behind it is how much do I need to spend in order to make money? Because if I can go out and I can get a client, a new gym member, that I can get them at, let's say $200, and it costs me $200, and that could include maybe time from warm outreach, sales commission, it could mean paid ads, whatever it is, right? $200 to get a new client. But I know that the LTV, the lifetime value of that client, the average is gonna be $2,000, then yes, great, I can spend $200, I could spend $400, I could probably spend $500, I could probably spend $600 on that, right? I'm probably not gonna want to, but if I can be at basically $200 CAC and a $2,000 LTV, that means I'm 10 to 1 on my LTV to CAC ratio, which is phenomenal. I can scale at that point. And so I can just keep pumping money into the system. I can keep pumping time and effort into this system, in this funnel, this 4-layer funnel, to continue to expand my marketplace, all right? But let's talk about CAC real quick in relation to the 4-layer funnel. When we think about this, CAC goes from more to less as well. It's the exact same thing as over here, right? You have the number of leads over here, and you also have cost to acquire a client. And the reason why it goes up is because if you're down here on referrals, there is no cost to acquire that client except for the time. And if you have a business where you have lots of salespeople and you have to pay commission, that's really all you have to take into account. This is why people love referrals, because there is no out-of-pocket spend to do this. And I get it, you need referrals. If you aren't getting referrals, then it most likely means, one, that you're not asking for them, two, you don't actually have a great product that people want to talk about. And so this is a measure of how healthy your business is. You want more referrals. Warm outreach, right? It's time, effort. You got to track that. But the CAC is not going to be as high as, say, paid ads, because paid ads, while I can sleep and get leads, I still have to put money into the machine to get those leads. And then from those leads, they're typically a little bit colder, and I have to take those, I have to get them to schedule, and then I have to get them to close. And when you think about close rates are going to increase as I go down the funnel. This is also why most gym owners love referrals, because referrals come in, they're already warmed up, they've already had the engagement with the person that referred them, they trust the person that referred them, so the trust is automatically higher for you or towards you as a gym owner when they come in. And so it makes it much easier to close referrals, which I'm gonna pause here for a second because I think it's really important to understand. I talk to a lot of gym owners. I used to be this way too. I totally understand this, but we talk to a lot of gym owners, and I hear consistently over and over again for people that are interested in coming into our program here at Gym Launch. We ask them about, what's your close rate? Like, how many do you typically close? And they start talking to us and they're like, oh, I close everyone that walks in the building. And it's like, great, but then how many people walk in the building? And it'd be like, oh, that's the problem. I need more leads. I need more leads, right? Because they think leads equal members, because the people that walk in the building are referrals or walk-ins who have high intent, who have either gone to the website or have pain. These are people that are actively searching for a problem or have been referred to them by a very trusted source. Those are lay down sales. If you aren't closing everyone that walks in, then we've got a problem on referrals. But that doesn't mean that your close rate is going to be the same through every step of this funnel. And it's okay. However, at the end of the day, the whole point of this 4-layer funnel is to drive more volume and more opportunities so that you can actually reach more people, change more lives, and build a wildly profitable business, right? And so please don't kid yourself if you're a gym owner and you're like, I close everyone, but everyone is a referral or they're high intent because they went onto Google and they searched you and they looked at everything that you have and they came in and you didn't actually work them and they just walked in. Please don't think that you're great at closing. I'm sorry, wake up call. You're not. You might be, but we don't know, because you're really, the true test of a closer is to take someone who comes from cold traffic, who didn't know you, like you, or trust you, but saw the offer, schedules to come in, and you have the ability to actually close them. That is a true, actual great closer, because otherwise they're just laydowns. They're people coming in with their card ready to buy. And those are great. Everyone loves laydowns. Those are fantastic. But it's really important to set expectations the right way in your head. Is if I'm gonna install these 4 layers of the funnel, I can't have that expectation where I'm gonna close everyone at the same level as referrals. Same with warm outreach. If these people are engaging with your content and they've been following you for a while, or they're an old list of maybe old members or old people, they already understand it. Maybe they've been in for a consult before. Maybe they have been in for training in the past. They already know you, they like you, and maybe trust has been a little bit tampered with, or maybe it just wasn't the right time, but again, they already know you, so they're warm. Posting content, the reason why posting content is here from a perspective of CAC is because posting content, unless you're hiring someone to do it, it's again just your time. And this one is really hard, in my opinion, for a lot of gym owners, simply because you're wearing a lot of hats. You're doing a lot of things in the business, and you don't always see an immediate ROI from posting content. But if you do it consistently over time and you get better and better and better, you're gonna get more engagement and more leads. But it takes time. Like, trust me, believe me, every week I have a day where I shoot content. I'm doing this right now. This is one of my days. I block an entire day. I shoot content in that full day. How many of you have the ability to take a full day and shoot content? I know I didn't when I was a gym owner. I could probably do a couple hours here and there, but a full day, when I was running sessions, when I was coaching my team, when I was making sales, you don't have all that time. And so it's really important to understand, hey, how do I structure my time? How do I make sure that I have the right copy, the right scripts, the right ideation time to plan for when I shoot. And then when I do shoot, I wanna make the most of it, and I wanna make sure that we're getting the right stuff from it. Because in today's world, it's not just about quantity anymore. You're not just throwing out a bunch of stuff. Unless you're just a brand new account and you've never started, yes, let's do it. But over time, it's very much quality and quantity. Optimally, I don't wanna be posting 1 time a week. That is, from a quantity standpoint, it's too little. It might be great quality, but it's not enough. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure at best you're doing 1 time a day, an actual like reel or post. Stories, you can do a bunch of stuff. And we have strategies on stories, and that's probably for another video. But when you're thinking about it, it does take time. And the CAC there, the reason why the CAC is a little bit higher than warm outreach is because that time you got to count your ideation, you got to count your shooting, your editing, your posting, your management of it. It's a lot of stuff. And if you go out and you pay someone for it, it's going to cost that much. And the return on that won't stack for a long time. It's similar to like old school SEO, where SEO is like king. Yeah, there were Google paid ads like pay-per-click, and then Facebook wasn't really around. So back in like 2006, 2008, 2010, up to like 2013. SEO was king. You want to get your website ranked, you want to have everything, and it was driving just organic traffic. That was king. Well, that's not the case today. AI is taking over, the marketplace changes, there's lots of different ways to do it. And that's why like posting content is here. You have a huge opportunity, but it takes a lot of time, which means that there's a cost. And then paid ads, right? Paid ads, I'm putting money into a system. I now have to also work those leads that I'm getting, which again takes time. I have to get those people to schedule and get them to close. I'm saying all these things and it might sound kind of a little bit like a little daunting. And to be real, it is. Like if you're doing all of these, you're an advanced gym owner if you're doing all of these well, right? A lot of our gym owners that come in to Gym Launch, they're typically right here and maybe a little bit right here. Some have come in and they've played around with paid ads or they've run paid ads themselves. Most of them have either worked with an agency in the past or they've tried it themselves and they weren't happy with it. A lot of that comes down to expectations. When you're doing this with paid ads, if you work with an agency and the agency just runs your ads, if they rely on you for the offer and you don't make a good offer and you don't know how to construct a good offer, then you can't really expect those ads to do well. But let's say you do make a good offer, or maybe the agency gives you an offer, but they also don't help you nurture or show you how to nurture the leads, the volume, the speed, everything that goes into that. You're not sure how to close and not familiar with closing cold traffic, and you don't know how to choreograph the sale, don't know how to overcome objections, how to go through every single step and be able to take someone from cold to paid, then it's reasonable to believe that no matter what you do, it's not gonna help. Because we gotta be able to take those leads, get them to schedule, and get them to show. And so a lot of our clients that come in, they really are more around this area right here and posting content. When we start adding in these other steps of the funnel, this is where things start to get crazy, and crazy in a great way. Because now your paid ads drive more awareness to your content, which content can also be meaning your website, right? And we teach having a different offer on the website. Then you also have your warm outreach. Once we plug this in, now we're hitting up all those people that are commenting, liking, and viewing your stories on both paid ads and your content. And we're reaching out to old leads and we're reaching out to old members. We're re-engaging them. We're coming back with a different new offer, something that they haven't seen before, or it's different than the one we're advertising. And then what happens is as you get more members in, your pool of referrals just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is how you use this 4-layer funnel to consistently grow your gym this year and into the future. And the big part about this, the thing that's probably the most important, is that it de-risks your business. Because one of the most important things, when I look at like evaluating a gym, and we've done this exercise in our workshops, we do it with our clients. If I'm looking at the valuation of a gym, and I'm looking at, if I was an investor and I wanted to invest in a gym, one of the key things that we look at is risk around single channel risk. And so what I mean by single channel risk is each one of these is a channel. It's an advertising channel, a marketing channel, it's a lead channel. And if I look and I see a gym that maybe is, let's say they're doing $600,000 a year, but they only do referrals. They've never done anything else. Well, guess what? We've got a ton of risk there. It's great that they're doing that because that's phenomenal. That means they have a great product, but the chance to grow, right, is very limited because we're only gonna grow so far. And what happens if for some reason maybe a trainer leaves or something else happens? Next thing you know, you lose a quarter or half of your members. Well, guess what? Your referral pool just shrank. And so there's a lot of high risk there. If I look at a gym and they've only doing paid ads, they're just doing this. They're not getting any referrals. They're not doing any warm outreach. They're not posting content. They're just relying on paid ads. That's a risk too, because they only have one channel. And so when we think about this as a business owner, not just like a gym owner, right? Of like, I just want to train people, I want to change lives. That's great. But if I really want to change more lives and I want to think about this as a business owner, my goal is to reduce risk inside of my business so that I can get a consistent flow of leads from all different areas, both paid ads, posting content, warm outreach, referrals. And within each one of these, there's very specific ways to do this. Because what I don't want you to do is go out there and like spray and pray and hope, cool, I'll just run ads and I'll do all this, whatever Cale says. It's really important to first, we have to get really good at one channel, nail that, and then move on to the next. And this is why it takes time to build a sustainable layer of like 4 layers of funnel for marketing strategy for any business, let alone a gym. If you're already nailing it on referrals and you have a system in place to consistently get referrals, you can choose any of these to start going. If you want to put a jetpack on it, paid ads is going to be the best, and then you can work on these two. But no matter what, when you think about this, you're going to always get more leads up here, less leads down here. You're going to have a higher CAC on average. Doesn't mean it's crazy, but a higher CAC on average, and a less CAC at the bottom of the funnel. All right. So this is what we use here at Gym Launch to, over time, build a repeatable, less risky way of marketing for gyms. And so we teach our clients how to do all of these things because, like I said earlier, they have to be done in a very specific way. Because if I just post content, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work. And most likely it doesn't. We have to have a strategy of like, cool, I'm posting content. Well, if I get a bunch of comments and likes, if I'm not working them and I don't have a specific way of doing that, and I don't have the scripts and I don't understand what offers I should make or how to take someone from liking a post all the way to a qualified appointment and a close, if I don't know how to do that, then I'm just wasting my time. And that's why all of these work together, and we stack these within the companies and the gyms that we work with. So hopefully you found some value in this. If you like it, go ahead, drop a comment down below, like, subscribe. And we also have, just a heads up, if you want to learn more about these strategies that we have a free school group just for gym owners. It is just for gym owners, not personal trainers, not marketers, no one else, just for gym owners, completely free. It's a school group. There's a link down in the description down below. Please join it if you want to be with like-minded gym owners who are talking about the same stuff that we're talking about right here. So no matter what though, I hope you enjoyed this, got some value, and remember, gym owners rule.